Hi, friends. Welcome. Welcome to the full moon writing ritual. Welcome to um, our writing rituals here on Substack. My name is Kathleen. When you write your ritual, you heal your story. Welcome to the full moon in Capricorn. I am sharing my screen today. I'm trying something new. And that's going to be for our writing timer that we're going to use today. So, a little bit about the full moon that starts tomorrow officially. That full moon is going to be in Capricorn. It's a strawberry full moon, and it's the first full moon of summer. You know, it's a really good idea to look at that full moon kind of as an energetic checkpoint because we're halfway through the year. So it's a really good thing to say, hey, what have I done this year? What do I want to make room for? And the purpose of today's writing ritual is not to create or manifest anything. Actually, we want to make room. We want to make some space for what's coming for the rest of the year. We are at the 6 month point of this year of 2026. And pretty soon, which is this weekend or next week, our month will end. And we will have 6 months to go for the rest of the year. So this is a really good time to kind of just check in and say, hey, what am I doing or what do I want to do? So we are going to write a ritual release list. With our ritual release list, we're going to acknowledge what we're ready to let go of. With this writing ritual, we're letting stuff go. Um, we can go ahead and let things go that anything that you want to release. You can let things go like resentments, old ideas, any old energy that you're holding on to that's static. You can let that go with this full moon. It's important to remember that the full moon, as it wanes, the energy is good for just like releasing and dropping things and letting them go. And again, that's what's going to make space for the time that's coming up and all the new things that we want to invite into our lives. So let's get started. For today's ritual, all you're going to need is some form of writing equipment, which could be a journal, a notepad, and a pen. It really helps to be able to write freehand and with your hands. Unless you want to use your computer, you can go ahead and do that too. That's okay. But before we get started with our writing ritual, we're going to go ahead and do some breathing work. We're going to go ahead and take a couple deep breaths so we can get centered and go ahead and start writing. So, as we begin, go ahead and put your feet on the floor, close your eyes, and take one deep, full breath to the count of 7. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold that for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And let it go for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go ahead and take one more breath like that for me, and then we can go ahead and get started. It's so good to breathe because I already feel that I'm getting grounded. And the purpose of rituals is to anchor ourselves in when our energy is kind of flowing outward. Maybe our prana is a little high and we had a stressful day. It is a Sunday, so it's a really good time to just connect and take a couple breaths. and that way we're grounded. So now we can go ahead, if you're done breathing, we can go ahead and get started with our ritual, with our writing. And we're going to go ahead and write for about 5 minutes. I'm trying something new. I went ahead and got a timer. I'm sharing my screen, so I'm going to start that timer, and we're going to go ahead and hit it for 5. And give me just 1 minute. There we go. Okay. Okay, don't see the timer working. I'm going to go ahead and refresh it. Here we go. So we've got our timer going, and we will write for 5 minutes. Again, if you're just joining us, we are doing a writing release ritual with our strawberry full moon, which peaks tomorrow. The full moon is in Capricorn. It is our first full moon of the summer, so it's a great time to celebrate. We are doing a writing release ritual. Anything that you want to release, to let go of, for the next 6 months of the year, so you can make space. If anybody has any questions, please put them in the chat. And our timer's on, and I'm going to go ahead and start writing. Okay, our session is finished with our timer. Our writing ritual time is now finished. So I'm going to say it's time to read our writing or kind of discuss our writing. I want to know if anybody wants to go ahead and put their writing in the chat. If anyone wants to share what they wrote about our ritual, which was writing a release list. Our release list that you wrote, if you did, a good idea to do with it is maybe rip it up, and get rid of those thoughts or ideas. Move those things away to energetically kind of clear them out, so we could go ahead and take that. So what I'm going to do with my release list, because I did write one, is I am going to, first I'm going to go ahead and show it to you. I did write a release list. I wrote 3 things on my list. I'm going to go ahead and rip the page up. But before I do, because there's time, I think I'm going to read them. My writing release ritual. What do I want to release? Our prompt was, what do I want to release as I go into the second part of this year? So for myself, number 1 is judgment towards others. I'd love to release my thoughts, ideas, or any judgment I have about what other people are doing. Number 2 was my self-sabotage. I would like to get out of my own way of not fulfilling myself with the dreams that I have. I had the tendency to get in my own way, and I've seen that over and over in my life. And the reason that I'm aware of it is mainly due to writing rituals. That's how I know that I self sabotage. That's how I was able to find out, was because the writing showed me what I was doing. And then number 3 are the old stories. I'd love to release some of the old stories that run through my head and keep me held back. These are things that have been holding me back for years. The stories of, I'm not doing it right. Personally, for myself, I'm not enough, or what I'm doing doesn't matter. So I'm going to go ahead and release those. This feels really good. Although our full moon is tomorrow, I'm going to go ahead and do this now because I really like the idea that I have others with me and I'm not doing this alone. So I'm ripping those up. Since the full moon peaks, if you haven't done this, you can always do this tomorrow. The full moon is going to be strongest for the next 3 days. Again, it is a strawberry full moon because of the harvest that we've had in the past years. We always have harvest in June. And I was really happy that we were able to be on a timer today and I was able to share my screen. So that was really good. So as we close out, if anybody has any questions, please pop them in the chat. And I don't see anything yet. But as we close, I'm just going to say, I'm going to suggest some practical rituals. If you have any questions about, what can I do in this full moon to maybe ground myself? I know that the breath work that we did at the beginning of this session was really grounding for myself. So that's helpful. Another suggestion for grounding is spending some time outside in the moonlight, if you can, even briefly. Maybe just going out on a balcony or going out to your yard and looking up at the moon. That's something you can do. You could create a second half's intention list, not resolutions or not things you want to release, but maybe another part of a list. If you made one, you can do that. And the last thing that you can do that I'm going to suggest is that you can have a meaningful conversation with someone who challenges you to grow. You could maybe open up an opportunity, extend maybe an invitation to talk about something that is probably holding you back, because that's where the growth happens. It happens when we do the hard stuff and when we do the work. And then the last thing I want to say is there's one question for today's writing ritual. If fear wasn't a factor, what would the second half of 2026 look like? If fear was not a factor, what would the second half of 2026 look like? So, thank you for considering that question. I've been thinking about that question a lot. And I want to thank you for being here. And next week, I'm going to have a writing ritual for the retrograde that starts tomorrow. We have a Mercury, our planet of communication, is going backwards, it's going in retrograde. So we will be doing a retrograde rewrite, which means we will be going back to past projects that maybe you may have written, past journaling, past lists of things that maybe you wanted to do, and now you can go ahead and look at them again. So join me next week. And as always, thank you for being here. Have a wonderful weekend. And I hope that I see you around on Substack or that I see you soon. Thanks. Bye bye.